It's Brittany, bitch, and I am back, and I'm shirtless, because you know who doesn't have air conditioning when it's 90 degrees in LA? This guy, because I live in a 1920s charming Spanish-style apartment, which is charming until it's 90 degrees and you don't have air conditioning, because I can't fit an air conditioning unit into my big, tall, French-style window that opens this way. Anyway, I digress. Hello, I'm back. I haven't posted a video in a month. I know I don't have an excuse. I really don't have an excuse. I know all of you have been losing hours of sleep saying, where's that guy? Where are all my amazing 32 subscribers? You're like, where's that guy? Where's that guy with the crazy hair that makes Miami Heat videos and rants about the Miami Heat? I don't know. I don't have an excuse. But I am back, and I'm here today to discuss with all of you a very important topic that I hope we all love to hate. Whether it's me or you or any respectable basketball fan from the present day all the way back to the great Dr. John Naismith. And that is flopping. Flopping, ladies and gentlemen. I hate flopping. Before I start this video, let me just get this out of the way. A statement, a declaration, a decree, if you will. I hate flopping. When I heard the news come down from the NBA gods, this, what is it called? The NBA Board of Governors. When they made this rule, the in-game flopping penalty, I, like many people, said, yes, this is good. We're finally going to clamp down on these shenanigans, this chicanery, this tomfoolery, this malarkey of this flopping that's been plaguing the sport that we love so much for years now. And at first, like many people, I thought this is great. And I'm not gonna sit here and read the whole long paragraph. We know. I'll put a link in there if you want to read the minutia of the rule. Knock yourself out. What I'm going to do in this video, I found two examples from the Summer League of a flopping call that I agree with and a flopping call that I disagree with. And on the surface, I like the idea. I like the idea of a flopping penalty. What I don't like is how this idea could be applied to reality. And you're going to see an example of how this could be a good thing when applied and a potentially bad, really, really annoying thing when applied. Oh, by the way, if I start sweating in the middle of this taping, it's because my apartment is probably about 87 degrees right now. So if I start sweating, I apologize. I can already feel myself getting really hot. There's a fine line between selling contact to get a call and a flop. Now, to me, a flop is the infamous flops that we all know. We know the flops. We know who the floppers are. We've all seen them. We've seen the famous clips of the famous flops throughout recent NBA history. That, to me, is what this call should be reserved for. The egregious, Oscar-nominated worthy, gross kind of calls where you're receiving little to no contact and being super extra. Whereas, and you're going to see that in example number one, whereas example number two, there is legitimate contact and you sell it a little bit. And then the problem is, when you receive legitimate contact, you don't know what that player what it feels like. If you get smacked in the face, it might really hurt, and your genuine reaction might be, oh, or you might be trying to sell it too to get a call. And that's where this stuff gets weird, and that's why I just don't want this call to turn into something that's happening multiple times a game, and it turns into this controversial thing and a big debate, and everybody has to argue about it, and it just takes away from the game. It takes away from the flow of the game. It takes away from gameplay. That's what I don't want. because that will be just annoying. That will be more annoying than flopping itself. And I just don't want this whole thing to turn into a monster, you know? But the problem with all this is that the root, the inception of this problem to begin with is because players were flopping too much and they were habitually crossing the line, and then the NBA Board of Governors had to crack down on it, and now this is where we are. And I just hope this doesn't turn into a thorn in the side of the NBA season, unless the call is really, truly warranted. One other interesting thing about this is that it says the new in-game flopping penalty will be in effect on a 1-year trial basis. So they're going to be feeling this out as the season goes along. Another thing that I kind of would like before the call actually goes through on a particular play is that it should be reviewed and it should be unanimously agreed amongst all 3 refs that it is indeed a flop. Or they should let the geniuses over in a Sea Caucus with all the televisions behind them analyze it, and they can decide. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that or not. But you know, I'm old-fashioned. I'm an old head. I grew up watching 90s basketball, and I'm of the school of thought of let them play. Let them play. Let them play basketball. These are big boys. These are tough dudes. Let them play basketball. Basketball is a physical sport. Let them play basketball. This isn't golf, okay? Now, enough ranting. Let's get to example 1, shall we? Both examples are from the Summer League. And example 1 was the Kings against the Warriors. I don't know who these players are, but in this one, dude shooting the 3, and you could see that there's no contact at all. The defender did not touch him at all with his body, and maybe at most hit him in the hand, tapped his hand after the release, and dude ends up falling on the ground. And that was called a flop, and I absolutely agree with that. When I see that kind of basketball, I'm very aggravated by that. I hate that kind of flopping. It has no place in basketball, and I'm glad that they called that a flop. In no world are you shooting a three-pointer and a dude maybe hits your hand and you end up flopping around on the floor. That should not happen. So most people, if you read through the comments, most people agree Curry is going to have to adjust his game next season. Chris Paul should just retire now. It's a great call. Guy was never touched. Great. I'm a Warriors fan, but this was a great call. Wish you can get ejected. If suckers keep flopping, that'll be the only way to fix that. What's LeBron going to do? There goes the Lakers. So that's the general consensus there. So everyone's pretty much in agreement that that was absolutely a flop. If you don't agree, let me know in the comments. Now, that's the easy one to analyze. The next one, this is the one where things get very hairy, very complicated, hairy, subjective, and this is where this call worries me, because this is where this call could get potentially really annoying. Example 2, this is the one that's more interesting and the one I want to analyze more, because when I saw this get called as a flop, I said, oh no, this is my worst nightmare come true. This is what worries me about this flopping penalty. This is also the Summer League. This is the Grizzlies against the Thunder. Here we go. Boom, right there. You can see the kid get hit in the face, right? Now, this is where it gets weird. We can all agree that he took contact to the face, okay? We all see that. I think we can all agree with that. Whereas the other one, example 1, he at most got hit in the hand and somehow ended up on the floor. Lame. Flop. This, he took contact to the face, didn't end up on the floor, just kind of like threw his arms back. This was called as a flopping penalty. I don't agree with this. And this is where it gets very subjective and hard to interpret, because I've played plenty of basketball in my life. I've gotten hit in the face before, just like that. I've taken elbows and arms to the face like that. It hurts. It hurts. When you're guarding someone and you take, you get hit like this or that, you go get an elbow here or an arm there, your natural response is to sort of go back like that. You don't know what that player felt in that moment, That's where this gets really difficult. And what makes it even more difficult is, maybe there was a part of him that was trying to sell it too. Maybe it was 50%, ow, I just got hit in the face, and 50%, oh, I just got hit in the face, ouch, but let me sell this a little bit too. That, to me, in my opinion, should not constitute as a flop. If anything, he got fouled. I mean, he took an arm to the face. It should be a foul on the Grizzlies player, whether it's an offensive foul or just a foul, I don't know. But this was called a flop. God forbid this call in this Grizzlies and OKC Thunder game. Imagine a call like that gets called with, in an important game in the regular season, and it's the fourth quarter, and you're down 2 with like a couple minutes left, and a play like that gets called. That's a disaster. Like it's like this play has a potential to be a slippery slope into something very annoying and controversial. If you disagree with me and you think that is a flop, let me know in the comments. We can have a debate about it. I don't think that this second example is a flop. I think he was objectively fouled. Maybe he sold it a little bit, but I think that's just besides the point because he clearly took contact to the face. And I think this play should really only be reserved for plays like example 1, where there is minimal to no contact and the player does something so egregious where he's literally flopping. Like that kid in the first video literally by dictionary definition flopped. I mean, he literally was flopped upon the ground after maybe getting hit in the hand after a 3-point shot. And all of this can be solved by playing basketball the right way, okay? Are you listening, NBA players? I'm sure all of you are watching my YouTube channel. Play basketball the right way. Stop flopping, all right? But once, selling contact, there's an art. There's an art to selling contact, okay? There's a fine line. And certain NBA players, we know who you are, everyone knows who you are, as the great Dave Chappelle's show said, habitual line steppers. They habitually stepped over the line, and then the NBA Governor Board crashed down, and now this is what we're dealing with. And this can all be solved by playing basketball the right way, okay? Oh, I'm starting to sweat. It's hot. My back is very sweaty. I think I'm done. I think that's the end of my rant. Oh.